2006, C-SPAN, an independent TV network, got the highest ratings in the company's history when they covered the 9/11 Truth Conference.
Scientifically, politically, historically, that the attacks of 9/11 could only be a self-inflicted wound, an inside job.
Maybe the 9/11 Truth movement has crossed over into the mainstream because of the Pentagon secrecy. How can a Boeing airliner fit into a 14-foot hole and leave behind an engine part from a global hawk? Incidentally, on page 58 of the notorious document called Rebuilding America's Defenses, just after it talks about a new Pearl Harbor, it shows a half-page picture of nothing other than a global hawk. May the 16th, 2006, Judicial Watch, an independent organisation, filed and won a lawsuit against the Department of Defense for the release of the Pentagon CCTV tapes. This is one frame from the released tape, and this is what it should look like if a Boeing 757 hit the Pentagon. According to Judicial Watch, another 84 tapes exist that potentially show what happened to the Pentagon on 9/11. Tapes were seized from the Pentagon gas station, the Sheraton National Hotel, and the Northern Virginia Freeway, and over 80 other places. So how did the FBI manage to seize over 80 tapes within minutes of the crash? Northern Virginia, Freeway Headquarters, Avian Parkway, Chantilly, the nearest place to the Pentagon where the freeway tapes could possibly have been stored. All tapes were seized within minutes of the crash. So, the FBI travelled all this distance from the Pentagon in just a few minutes? Yeah, right. Late September 2001, everybody in the construction industry in the known world raised an eyebrow at the fact that steel from the World Trade Center was being removed without analysis.
That he was destroying a crime scene. He had to melt down that steel before people found out what it was.
Steel, this evidence, was being sliced up and sent to Asia for recycling. It looks very suspicious.
December the 25th, 2001, New York Times protested. January 2002, Firefighter magazine protested. January the 4th, 2002, Joe Calderone from the New York Daily News protested. Despite protests from all sectors, the removal of evidence was continued unabated and was even speeded up. Every single removal truck was fitted with a global positioning system. If a removal truck detoured slightly off track, the state and federal police forces were called in, and nobody was allowed to take pictures of the steel on those trucks.
This is a cover-up on an enormous scale to slice up this steel and ship it off to be melted down.
6th of April 2006, Stanley Hilton, the Chief of Staff of Senator Bob Dole, filed a $7 billion lawsuit. He went on Alex Jones's radio show and said,
our case is alleging that Bush and his top assistants, Rice and Cheney and Mueller and Rumsfeld and so forth, Tenet, were all involved not only in aiding and abetting and allowing 9/11 to happen, but in actually ordering it to happen.
January 1996, Osama bin Laden was living in Sudan, Africa, where he made an application to live in the UK. His application was rejected. So, if the bin Laden family are such a threat, then why did Osama bin Laden's fourth eldest son, Omar, not only visit Manchester, England, but he went on to marry Jane Felix Brown, a parish councillor from Cheshire, South Manchester. He's now applying for a visa to live in the UK. Maybe he wants that visa so that he can join the 9/11 Truth March in Manchester later this year, with his dad. In reality, the hunt for the world's most wanted man is completely bogus, because Rex Toome, Chief Investigative Publicity Officer for the FBI, said, "The FBI has no hard evidence connecting Osama bin Laden to the 9/11 attacks." Molten steel was found under World Trade Center 1, 2, and 7. Jet fuel, also known as kerosene, never burns hot enough to melt steel. So what did melt the steel? August 2006, in the final official NIST report, it said, NIST concluded that the source of the molten material was aluminium alloys from the aircraft. Well, that's just a blatant lie. Because 1. Molten steel was found under World Trade Center Building 7, which was not hit by a plane. 2. Aluminium alloy, when melted, looks silver in colour, like this, and not orange yellow. This official report might as well say that plastic comes from sheep. Plastic doesn't come from sheep, and neither did the molten material come from the plane's fuselage, because that's just a ridiculous lie. These official reports of 9/11 are just not good enough, and if our leaders in America and Great Britain stand by these negligent 9/11 reports, then they're not conducive to the public good and they've got to go. There is so much at stake here, so what can you do about it? If you haven't already, then watch the free internet film called Loose Change, Second Cut. Google Stephen Jones.
We have Professor Stephen E. Jones. Is Professor...
Look up 911truth.org, share this video with all your friends, ask questions, demand answers.